Good evening and a very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us here on the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It's episode 98. My name's Tonchi Prusak. Warm welcome to you, Steve Curtin. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Tonchi. Exciting times. The Geelong Region Football Association Grand Final week is here. And I'll tell you who's up and about and excited at the moment. It's those fellas from Armstrong Creek, the Pelicans. They are very, very excited, I think. So we're going to see a bit of content about them tonight. Yeah, amongst other clubs. But how are you, mate? How's your weekend been?
It's been a full-on, flat-out weekend. The next weekend is going to be 10 times worse. But it's also grand final weekend, as you said, in the Geelong Region Leagues. It's going to be an awesome, awesome weekend coming up. The culmination of the first COVID-free season in 3 years, and we'll be talking
2019. Hey,
yeah, so a lot to look forward to. It was a very good weekend of semi-final action at Myers Reserve, home of Geelong Rangers, and also Corio Soccer Club's Hume Reserve. I did dart out there very, very briefly in between appointments and functions and various commitments, Steve. I was out there for maybe 20 or so minutes, but enough to really soak in a little bit of that atmosphere before the rain sort of set in and whatnot. But yeah, it is. We've got a great show tonight. It is the grand final edition of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. We've got lots of junior results, lots of senior results to get through tonight, but also we've got the combatants from the Women's Division 1 Grand Final this Saturday. It's going to be an absolute humdinger of a Grand Final. The two teams that led from start to finish, Surf Coast and Deakin, they'll be taking part in Division 1, the Women's Division 1 Grand Final. We'll be talking about the Division 2 as well. But we've got, I hope I get this right, Annika van der Woude. She's the captain from Surf Coast. She'll be joining us. And then the her Deakin counterpart, Andrea, or Andy as she's commonly known, Andy Thornton, she'll be joining us. And that will be in about 20 minutes' time. So we look forward to chatting to the two ladies. Now, after that, around about 8:40, Steve, it's the turn of the Men's Division 1 participants, combatants, however you want to describe it. Who have we got representing the two grand finalists?
Yeah, the two grand finalists from the team that's very excited in the comments. We've already alluded to the coach of Armstrong United, Gavan Walker, and also from Barwon, we've got their senior player, affectionately known as Ian Nichols. So looking forward to speaking to both of those guys about their match before they lock horns on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic weekend. We've got so much results to get through. We've got a lot of news to get through as well. So quite a fair bit to get there through that. And we'll get started as soon as possible, straight after this short commercial break. On the other side of the commercial break, we've got our news desk, and we're going to whiz through those results because we've got a jam-packed show coming up throughout the night tonight. It's episode 98. In 2 weeks' time, we've got our 100th episode. We're planning something special, something big, and we're going to hopefully have all those details for you next week when we do have the grand final or the season review, the grand final review, if you like. That should be absolutely fantastic. But in the meantime, a big, big shout out to our major sponsor, our major season sponsor, and that is Barry Plant Geelong. For all of your real estate needs, go see Barry Plant in Geelong. They're in Jeringham Street and Ryrie Street. They've got two offices. One's the sales and one is the rental office. So they are an all-encompassing and a comprehensive real estate agency, one of the best in Geelong, and we certainly appreciate their support. Folks, don't go away. You don't want to miss tonight's show. It's the Geelong Region Soccer Show episode 98, straight back after this short break. At Barry Plant Geelong, excellence is our starting point. The award-winning real estate agents and property managers at Barry Plant Geelong's vision is simply to be the most recommended brand in real estate. and are dedicated to providing the best real estate experience to every client every time. We have the skills and commitment to making selling and renting out your home a rewarding experience. By implementing well-targeted marketing strategies and tapping into the vast Barry Plant network, we'll cast a wide net to find the right buyer for your property. Or, if you are looking to purchase, we'll work just as hard to help you find the right property to suit your needs. Our sales office is located at 59 Jeringhap Street, right in the heart of Geelong, while our property management office is just around the corner at 116 Ryrie Street. Whatever your requirement, please call us now on 5221 4011 to experience the difference, or visit our website at www.barryplant.com.au/Geelong. Barry Plant Geelong sponsors both the Geelong Soccer Club and the Corio Soccer Club, and is also proud to be the major sponsor of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. As the first solar tube skylight installer in Victoria, Scotsco Skylighting has nearly 30 years of experience and offers a variety of services including custom-made skylights, high-quality Velux skylights, and a variety of solar tube daylighting systems. The benefits of having the skylight in your home are many. They let natural light into your space, and with that light comes solar heat, improving your mood and even helping with performance in workplaces. Plus, heating your home with sunlight can save on heating costs during the chilly seasons. Cosmetic changes like skylights can add equity into your home, and, similar to adding mirrors on the walls, skylights can make a room feel bigger and more spacious. It's about time you enjoyed all these benefits plus more. So what are you waiting for? To get a free daylight assessment and installation quote, call our founder and owner Adrian Begg on 0409 823 177, or visit our website at www.scotscoskylights.com.au. Scotsco Skylighting is proudly Geelong owned and operated. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It is episode 98. We've got lots of news to get through, but before we do, yes, Kitus and Trezise, yes, you can pay a premium fee to skip the ads. By all means, get in touch with us, and if you'd like to be the major sponsor of our show, more than happy. But folks, all jokes aside, it's sponsors and advertisers like that and the clubs that have supported us that allow shows like this to go on. One of the few shows around the state that actually focuses on the local soccer scene. Now, if that bothers a few people, by all means, switch off and enjoy your Monday night. Thank you very much. Now that we finished that little community announcement, Steve, what's going on as far as the shows? News.
The news. All right, well, let's start with the big news from yesterday, and it was a grand final triumph in the State League 3 Women's for Geelong Rangers in a thrilling finish, winning over Doveton 3-2 at the Veneto Club, the home of the Bulleen Lions up there in Bulleen yesterday. Congratulations to the team. They've done a sensational job in their first season in the State League, and the scorers yesterday, April Anthony with a double, and Danny Mandich also on the score sheet. All of those goals in the first half. They held off a difficult opponent, Doveton, the Dovettes, and kept them out and managed to get the pennant there. And congratulations to all the players and everyone involved and the coaches there, Foddy and Tony Horrocks as well. They've done a sensational job. I did hear that they weren't presented medals by Football Victoria, though, and they should have got some medals, I feel, for that effort.
Goodness me. Something surprised me. But look, all jokes aside, Geelong Rangers, it's their first year in the State League competition. They had a dream run in the Nike FC Cup. And look, one thing, in the last 2 weeks, they've played their semi-final, their divisional semi-final at Caroline Springs George Cross's magnificent facility. And then yesterday, they had the privilege of going to the Veneto Club, which is an NPLW facility. I hope that that's given the girls a taste of what playing in the higher leagues is going to be like, and some of the facilities as well. And look, next year they're in State 2, and what a dream season it has been. And they're on par with the male part of the club who are also in State League 2. So fantastic effort there, fantastic result. And it really is good to see women's football doing so well. Lara United have progressed up to State 1.
And
North
Lara
Geelong
winning their grand final last week as well.
too.
We probably didn't pay enough attention to that. That was a great result last weekend with them. So two like what premier? Can we call them premiers if you win a cross conference grand final? Two premiers out of those two state league divisions. Fantastic effort by all involved with Lara last week and Geelong Rangers this week. So lots to be proud of there. Definitely.
Look, mate, it is an awesome result, an awesome year. Look, next year, this season hasn't even finished, and we have got a bumper 2023 lined up. Look, it's next year is just going to be epic as far as local football is concerned. Welcome to any new viewers, for any first-time viewers to the show tonight. Hopefully, you'll enjoy the concept of what we're trying to create, and hopefully, you'll be a regular viewers after this. But now, Steve, I'm calling on the entire football community here in Geelong, regardless of who you support, which club you belong to. But when we're talking about dealing with the external community outside of our own community, I think all internal rivalries need to stop, and we need to band together and support one of our own. It's the People's Choice Award for the Viva Community Legends Award. We've got one nomination from the football community. Let's all rally around the legendary Bobby Hayes. He's he's been at Stead Park forever and a day, and he is obviously from Geelong Soccer Club, but he's representing our sport. And it's now, folks, jump on board. There it is. There's the website, www.communitylegends.com.au/vote. There are 10 different nominees from various elements of the local community, not just the sporting community, but I think arts, culture, fundraising, whatnot. And we'll read the bio there. Bobby has been a part of the Geelong Soccer Club for over 50 years. So back in the day when it used to be, the Irish-backed community club or the English club? I'm not too sure. Now it's a Macedonian community-based club, but he's still been there. And he's taken on a number of volunteer roles, from serving as the club's president to saving the club by leading it through a successful merger. He has provided assistance with cleaning, maintenance, senior, junior team match day coordination, fundraiser events. He's been a kit man. He's been the mascot, I suppose. He's been everything.
He hasn't been there. It's incredible.
I don't know. He's almost like the doorman. You walk in and straight away the first person you usually see is Bobby and his very famous moustache. And even when Geelong Soccer Club's not playing, he's been seen regularly at other grounds getting his regular weekly soccer fix. He's one of these soccer tragics, Steve, that once the season finishes, he won't know what to do with himself.
That's right. And can I just say as well, Tonchi jumped on here and voted after the show last week. I'm not sure when it closes, but it takes, I would say, no more than a minute to be logged on and vote, and get that vote in communitylegends.com.au/vote. Won't take you more than a minute.
18th of September, midnight on the 18th of September, so it's a little less than a week to go, Steve. But Steve, you've got some news as far as the local coaching merry-go-round. The off-season merry-go-round has already started.
Yeah, it continues. Yeah, last week we spoke about Geelong Galaxy and their change, bringing in John Diaz. This week it's about Surf Coast, because Rob Panetta, who's been there he's been there for a few years now, hasn't he, Rob? He's decided to step down from his post out there at Banyawari Reserve. So Surf Coast will be looking for a new senior coach there, as Rob stepped down to spend some time, looking after some, time at home, being a good family man, I think, is the plan for Rob in the coming time. So congratulations on a successful spell down there at Banyawari to Rob Panetta, and all the best for the next chapter to him and to Surf Coast with whoever they might find for the job next.
Well, there are a few coaching vacancies popping up around the place, and I wonder if Rob could be convinced to go there around town. But like I said, both in the junior section, in the men's section, the women's section, there's going to be a lot of vacant
That's
coaching
right.
positions
You've got a good
available.
CV these days, Tonchi. You're pretty handy CV.
Oh, I don't know about that, mate. Don't know about that, but actually, I really need to say a big shout out to Geelong Soccer Club, to Phil Couchy and Mick Clancy, who are the coaches and the team managers, respectively, of the under-12 Wallabies at the Geelong Soccer Club. My little boy plays at North Geelong, and our two teams met yesterday, and the North Geelong under-12 Wallabies had won the league week prior, and they could not be, beaten. Nonetheless, Geelong Soccer Club came out and well, you'd call it kind of like a little bit around the centre circle prior to the game, both sets of teams. And Phil had a very, very nice little speech, where he just congratulated the North Geelong boys. And he did make a great point, saying that it was fantastic to see that the Geelong top two Geelong teams, or the top two teams in that Wallabies division, the under-12 Wallabies division, were in fact from Geelong. If you look at the under-13 Wallabies division, Pete Bradley's Geelong Rangers finished on top, undefeated, having scored more than 100 goals over the course of the season.
Wow.
And Geelong Warriors, their Wallabies team, equal amount of points, also undefeated, also scored over 100 goals, but a slightly inferior goal difference to the Geelong Rangers. And Rangers prevailed. And once again, top two teams in the under-13 Wallabies, Geelong teams. We're talking about the Metropolitan Leagues, Steve. North Geelong under-13 Kangas also took out their division, the under-13A division. So in that under-12, under-13, under-14 age group, there is some amazing talent. And cannot forget the North Geelong under-14 NPL boys team. This week is their final round. They're 2 points ahead of the Division 1 ladder. If they draw or if they win this week's game, they've also secured top spot in the Division 1 of the NPL under-14 boys. Now, that is just absolutely fantastic. There are other teams that are doing just as well. We haven't got time to focus on them. My point, though, Steve, is there's some amazing talent at the moment in Geelong. We need to nurture this talent and not see this talent go down by the wayside. Boys or girls, whatever the case may be, but there's some brilliant talent.
Absolutely, mate. Lots to be excited about. Indeed. So on that note, should we now push on to some results from the
Speaking of the next generation of talent, yes.
from the Geelong Region semi-finals on the weekend.
Shall we start with the girls? They played on the Saturday. So we had the under-12s, the under-13s, and then the under-14/15s division, the categories. Let's go through the girls, junior girls, then we'll go through the junior boys, and then culminate with the senior women's and the senior men's. So, Steve, you've got the results of the under-12s, and take us through those results, and then the finals fixture next Saturday, I think. Saturday.
Yes. We'll just jump onto those now. So we had the girls under 12s on Saturday, and those results went the way of these matches played at Myers Reserve at 9 o'clock on Saturday. It was North Geelong 8-0 over Geelong in one of the semi-finals. The other semi-final, Surf Coast and Corio. And that match finished. Have you got that one there as well?
I do, yep. Surf Coast defeated Corio 4-0. So North Geelong meets Surf Coast in the final next week, and I'm told that game will be at 9 a.m. Myers Reserve on Saturday. So 9 a.m. final to kickstart the Women's Day at Myers Reserve on Saturday. North Geelong taking on Surf Coast in the under-12 grand final.
All right, we've got the girls under 13s. These matches were played also Saturday morning at Myers Reserve. Barwon 2-0 winners over Surf Coast in one of the semi-finals. The other semi-final was Geelong Rangers and the Bellarine Sharks, and that result ended up going the way of
Geelong Rangers.
Geelong Rangers, yeah. So Geelong Rangers
2-1.
getting over the line there, and that final will be played this Saturday at 10:45 at Myers Reserve on pitch number 2 for the under-13 girls. So let's move on to the girls under 14/15s, Tonchi.
Yeah, so this division has been sort of almost like merged between the two under 14s and the under 15s. I'd like to think that possibly next year you'd have an under 15s division, maybe, or maybe an under 16s, and they'll move. But that's the interesting thing, and we'll talk a little bit more about
They need to
this
retain
later
the
on.
players, and they can push them up another year level.
Yeah, absolutely. But there needs to be a little bit more uniformity so you exactly know what is happening from year to year instead of, expressions of interest at the start of the year. Football Victoria calls for expressions of interest. And we don't know if there's going to be 12 teams, 6 teams, 2 divisions, 1 division, under 13, under 12, this, that, whatever. But we need a little bit more clarity, I think, moving forward. But anyway, putting that all aside, Surf Coast defeated Ballarat. Ballarat was a club that was invited into the competition because they don't have an equivalent division or girls' competition in Ballarat. Ballarat made it to the semis, but unfortunately got annihilated by Surf Coast 9-0. So well done to Surf Coast. Surf Coast had a team in each one of the semi-finals. So well done to Surf Coast. North Geelong defeated Geelong 2-0. Geelong, the unfortunate recipient of a couple of victories by North Geelong over the weekend, boys and girls. But the under 14-15 North Geelong team easily accounted there for Geelong 2-0. So the final between Surf Coast and North Geelong will be played next Saturday at Myers Reserve. Basically, as a curtain raiser to the women's competition for the deciders. Yeah. And this one will kick off at 12:30 p.m. On Saturday at Myers Reserve. So just to reiterate, North Geelong taking on Surf Coast in the under 12 grand final. In the under 13 grand final, Barwon taking on Geelong Rangers, and in the under 14/15s, Surf Coast taking on North Geelong. Let's move to the boys, mate. The under 12 blue, or A division, I suppose.
Yeah, the boys.
Hangers.
Under 12 blue, Corio defeating Breakwater 2-1. The other semi-final, Barwon blue defeating the Surfside Waves 3-1. So that final we played at Myers Reserve this Sunday morning. That's Corio against Barwon blue. And that is the first of our boys' junior semi-finals. That is at 10 a.m. there on pitch number 2 for the boys under 12. Let's have a look now, Tonchi, for the boys under 12 green.
Yeah, which is kind of like the de facto Wallabies, even though they haven't called it that. But I think when they did the split, it was the top 8 and bottom 8 or thereabouts. Anyway, FC Leopold took on Drysdale, and FC Leopold, one of the region's youngest clubs. Great to see them doing so well. They defeated Drysdale 5-1. And then in the other semi-final, Barwon Heads defeated Geelong Rangers 2-1. So the final between FC Leopold and Barwon Heads, that'll also kick off at 10 a.m. at Myers Reserve next Sunday morning. On to the under 13s. We've got some great results here in the under 13s. Boys.
Yeah, we had Breakwater defeating Surfside 2-1 in the first semi-final. The second semi-final, Rangers got through by defeating Barwon Blue 5-4 on penalties after the match was tied at 2-2 after extra time. So certainly a bit of a thrill there for all of those players involved. I don't even remember playing extra time and penalties as a junior player myself, Tonchi. So that would have to have been a bit of a thrill, provided you come out on the winning.
I was going to say
the winning side of the equation, but if you don't, it's all experience as well. Tonchi.
Is it? There's nothing worse than losing a final or a semi-final or a final on penalties. I've been haunted by many a grand final loss on penalties, and it is nothing worse. Nothing worse. I think so. Commiserations to those to the Barwon Blue team that lost there, and I think they did end up on tops, if I'm not mistaken. So they did really, really well. I guess next year, when they move up to the under 14s division, they'll certainly have a point to prove. Yeah. But Breakwater Eagles and Geelong Rangers in the final, 12 p.m. at Myers Reserve on Sunday. Now, the under 14s, this is an interesting one. Speaking of teams that went undefeated, Geelong Rangers went through the entire season, I think, 15 wins from 15 games. Invincible, basically. They came up against Surfside. Remember, it's first versus fourth, second versus third. And the Waves really, really pushed Rangers Geelong Rangers won, prevailed in the end, but it was only by the skin of their teeth. It was a 2-1 win to Geelong Rangers. Now, in the other semi-final, identical scoreline, 2-1 in favour of Barwon, who overcame Surf Coast. So well done to Geelong Rangers, well done to Barwon, the two old rivals. They'll meet in the grand final on Sunday at Myers Reserve, and that will be at 12 p.m. So that'll be at the same time as the under-13s.
That's on pitch one. That
So on the main one,
fixture on the main ground there for the under-14s.
And second last category of the juniors, the boys under-16. Steve, what eventuated there?
Yeah, so the boys under-16s took place at Hume Reserve on Sunday morning. First match was at 10, and Barwon Blue were 2-1 winners against rivals Surf Coast. So Barwon Blue getting through in a tight one in the second semi at 12:15, also at Hume Reserve. It was an all Northern Suburbs battle, and Lara United getting a 2-0 win against Bell Park to progress to the final, which will, of course, be Barwon Blue against Lara. That'll be at 1:45 on pitch 1 at Myers Reserve on Sunday.
Oh, that's awesome. That is brilliant. Well done. And then last but not least, the under-18 competition, which is great. A lot of people probably don't realise this is the hardest division to actually have to organise, because this is where a lot of boys drop off because of VCE, because either they've given up the game, they're not interested, they've discovered the girls, they've discovered partying, and maybe they're not interested in soccer anymore. But this year there was a 14 league, and it was great to see these teams, great to see an actual under-18 division. And hopefully that can grow next year.
And more teams next year would be great, as you say.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Maybe 8 teams next year. Come on, let's have it.
Yeah, absolutely. Geelong Rangers defeated Barwon 2-0 in one semi-final, and Bell Park defeated Barwon Heads 3-1. The old rivals, the near neighbours, they're virtually really, really close. You just sort of go up Creamery Road, down Midland Highway, and that's how far the two are apart. But Geelong Rangers taking on Bell Park at Hume Reserve. So this game is on Sunday at Hume Reserve in a curtain raiser to the men's division games. That's at 12:30 p.m. kickoff. So that is at Hume Reserve on Sunday. So that is awesome. Now, we're going to whiz through very, very quickly the women's Division Division 2 game. If we've got that, I'll bring that slide up. Okay. And then we'll bring our two guests to talk about the women's Division 1 final. But the Division 2, Steve.
Yeah, there's your results there. Lara United progressing against FC Leopold on Saturday. That match was at Myers Reserve. Vicky King with the goal for Leopold. Don't have the scorers for Lara, but they were triumphant. They go through. And after extra time in the other match, Surfside Waves came out on top 2-1 over Bell Park, courtesy of a double by Tassana Lapham. A good performance there for the Surfside Waves getting through. So the final coming up this Saturday at 12 o'clock. Myers Reserve pitch number 1 there on, Saturday is Lara against Surfside Waves.
Yeah, awesome. And now it's time to talk about the Women's Division 1 semi-finals. So whilst we bring the slide on, before we do the bring on the slide, let's introduce our two guests for tonight. It's the captain of the Surf Coast Soccer Club, Annie van der Woude. First of all, let's bring Annie onto the Good evening, Annie. How are you doing? And it's a pleasure to have you on the show tonight.
Thanks. I'm going good. How are you guys?
Very good, very good. We're excited about what's awaiting us this weekend, but I'm sure as far as the grand finals are concerned, you players must be jumping out of your skin.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked after the weekend, and everything you aim for after the last couple of years. It's definitely what we're after, and already the nerves are setting in. We're pretty excited for training and what the week's going to bring.
Awesome. Well, we're now. It's an opportunity to bring the other side now. The Deakin Ducks. They finished runners up, but I'm sure now in the final they're going to want to go one better and get one over the top of you. It's a big warm welcome to Annie Thornton. Annie, good evening. How are you? And thank you for joining us on the show tonight.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Nice to join you guys.
Thank you for, girls, both of you joining us tonight. First of all, Annie, over to you. Unexpectedly, you won the minor premiership, but it has been a 2-horse race between your team and Deakin Ducks. In a way, all form goes out the window when it comes to the grand final. But let's talk about the semi-final first of all, and we'll bring that slide up on up there. A 2-0 win over Barwon Soccer Club. There we go. We've got the scorers. It was Rebecca McGlinchey and an own goal. How did you see this game against Barwon?
We always knew it was going to be a tough one. It hasn't been like an easy, cruisy season. We ended up one on the ladder, but like it's been a tough battle the whole way through to get up there. And every game that we've gone into, we haven't gone in being like, oh yeah, we're going to smash it and win. So, and I feel like finals definitely bring out an inner beast in everyone, and it's a completely different ball game when you get on there. So we always knew it was going to be tough, and the Barwon definitely put up a good fight.
And Andy, I guess the same frame of the question to yourself about your semi-final win, 4-1 against Geelong, fairly convincing. Did everything go to plan for the girls on Saturday?
Yeah, it did in the end. We were definitely nervous going into it because, as you said, finals, anything can happen, and we know that Geelong they've got the top goal scorer of the league, so we were very concerned about making sure that we shut her down, but she still managed to score. So it was really good. We really enjoyed the game in the end, and I think it was played in great spirit.
Andy, we talked about the top goal scorer there, Elizabeth Sarcevic for Geelong, but I think she scored 19 goals in the regular season. But Hannah Gordon as well scored 18 goals for the Ducks or the Duckettes. How valuable was her contribution as well as a goal scorer? I mean, she's quite prolific. She's been scoring goals quite a fair bit over the last few years. But you also had other players as well that chipped in quite regularly. So it seemed the goal scoring responsibilities seem to be shared by quite a few players.
Yeah, well, we've also got Alex Wolf, who's I think she finished third with about 16 goals. So between the two of them, they've had a fantastic season. They've really worked well together in the forward line. And Hannah has definitely had a thriller of a season. Just her ability to create opportunities for us has been huge.
And I guess the same question as well for you, Annika. Your team has really shared the goals around. Looking at the stats for the season, you've got, I think, almost double figures amount of players who've scored multiple goals this season. Is that something that you've been working on at training, trying to get players into scoring positions as much as possible?
I think we just want to score them, so whoever gets closest gets in. Yeah, there hasn't been. Yeah, it's been much more of a shared responsibility. I'm personally in defence, so I don't get up there as much as the other girls. So it's always exciting when anyone gets a goal.
Do you think you might sneak forward at a corner kick coming this weekend, though, perhaps?
I feel like I'm slightly cursed. So if I do score a goal, we haven't won any games where I have scored one. So I'm going to definitely stay on the back line and not go anywhere near that box.
Annie, we've had Mark Wyeth, your coach, on the show before, and he's talked about how this year he's actually doing his C licence course, which is a brilliant thing in the sense that local community clubs are approaching their coaching with quite a fair bit of seriousness and and investing in themselves, and that, I guess, augurs well for the next generation of young girls coming through the ranks as well. Because we spoke before, Steve, how I think Surf Coast had a team in each one of the junior girl divisions. What's the feeling at the moment at the club? I mean, I know you've got a brand new pavilion, a new clubhouse, and first year after post-COVID, the numbers seem to be really good. But World Cup, Women's World Cup next year, it seems to be an awesome place at the moment as far as women's soccer is concerned. What's the feeling at the club with regards to the women's side of the sport?
Well, yeah, as you said, World Cup's coming. It's really exciting. With the club investing in our coaches and helping them get their licenses, it's really an investment in us as players, and much more encouragement for our young girls to stay in our club and rise through the ranks. We've got some great under 15 players that have been coming up in playing in our women's league. So it's a really positive mind frame for women around the club. And as we get post-COVID, we can get back into having a more community spirit and being able to do functions and bond as a club as well.
And for you, Andy, as well, like a difficult time with Deakin Ducks after the COVID era, with international students that might have maybe come in and played for the club, not able to come in. The club's had a big year and grabbed the headlines for the right reasons, with some good initiatives like the Indigenous Guernsey that was used earlier in the season as well. How's the spirit amongst the whole club itself at the moment?
I think it's just been something that everyone's been so grateful to have back in their lives after the past 2 years. So we've had a great turnout, being able to field 2 women's teams this year. And I think the Indigenous round was just fantastic to be able to incorporate that. It was a great day. We really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, Surf Coast got the better of us on that day. But hopefully we can, claim one back this weekend would be nice.
Speaking of this weekend, Andy, are you approaching this week, this grand final, in any different way than you normally would normal games? Is there anything, team bonding or any special outside event happening this week, or is it just training as per normal, treating it as a normal game?
Yeah, normal game as usual, and just embracing the fact that we get to be together for another week and another game. It's always sad at the end of the season, and knowing you have to wait another few months to kick a ball around again. So to extend our season by 2 games has been pretty great. And
what's the feel been with the format of the season this year? I'll start with you, Annika, first. Finishing top of the table after a good season, but then going straight into a sudden death game. Did the girls feel like you might have deserved a double chance, perhaps, or at least a home final? There's a bit of a different format for the finals this year, with all the venues being at the 2 grounds in the northern suburbs.
It was a little bit. We didn't realise that it was all going to be set. So it is always nice to, when you finish up the top, to have that home ground advantage. But we'd already played at Geelong Rangers home the week before, I think. So it was kind of the same. Yeah.
I like home ground advantage anyway,
yeah. But obviously, Surf Coast, we weren't sure we were going to have the pavilion finished and things like that. So you don't want to put in and then not be able to provide for the spectators to come and that jazz. Sorry, I can't remember the rest of the question.
No, I think you've answered it pretty well as well. I guess, Andy, for you, did the girls did they warm to the finals format this season, or would a double chance have been nice as well, perhaps? Yeah,
I guess we were disappointed that we weren't going to get the home final, which we'd been looking forward to. I guess I understand that that's the way it went. I guess just a bit more notice would have been appreciated. Yeah. Going into it, but we still enjoyed the day, and we still had people come down to support us and watch us. So, and it's a great venue out there to get the game done.
Yeah, and Andy, do you feel like it's a bit of a home ground advantage? It's a unique pitch there, the synthetic in the middle of the athletics track at Deakin. Do you feel like you have an advantage when you play there, or teams coming in and trying to pinch points because they enjoy that fancy pitch playing on that one?
Yeah, we call ourselves the princesses because we don't know what mud is.
Not like the old Jarvis Oval days.
No. Don't get me started. I love that ground. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I think actually our performances have been better away this year than they have been at home, surprisingly. But normally we prefer to be at home for sure.
Now, I'm going to be a bit controversial, and I invite you to be controversial as well, ladies. Annie, first to you, 6-team A division. Okay, yet we've got a 10-team B division. In years gone by, there's been a real push to get women's football, and getting more players, getting more teams into that Division 1 and to make it a fully fledged competition. Yes, we're going to blame COVID, and yes, we're going to blame it on other things, but 6-team division, were you happy with the format of the league this year, and what needs to be done to make it better next year?
Well, 6 teams definitely seemed a little small. It's great because you get to know the other teams and you just end up having sort of a bond when you get round 3 or 4 when you've played them. So that's really good for a sense of community, and you know what's going to go on, and you can change things from when you've previously played them. I do feel like you could have at least had 7. 7 would have been a great minimum just to mix it up. You get a bye weekend in there as well, spaces it out. Because as you were saying, how do we feel about the straight into sudden death round? 6 isn't enough to have a week of you get a second chance in finals, because otherwise you're just playing another round of the league. So I think building it up even 8 and 8 would have been great. But hopefully the Div 2 have had their time this season, and they can bump 2 more people up and we can expand it more, and then hopefully another couple of clubs we might get a second team next year and have another one in Div 2 for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy, your thoughts on that? So what did you think of the format this year, the 6-team league this year, and what are your thoughts of going forward? How can things be improved?
I think giving clubs the choice to opt into Division 1 is a good idea. Obviously, 6 teams, it would be great if it could be 8. Definitely prefer the even numbers. I don't like having a bye. I just want to play every week. But at the same time, I'd rather 6 strong teams in rather than 2 filling in, making up numbers. It's no fun having 1 or 2 teams at the bottom of the league getting flogged every week. I'd rather those teams be in Division 2 and gaining experience playing like skilled players to improve the competition, with the hope that once they've developed their confidence as a club, that they would feel confident to move into Division 1, so that we have a nice strong Division 1 competition.
I love this. I love this show. I love this forum. It gives all these different views, different opinions, a chance to sort of be aired, and that's brilliant. I love the fact that you both have got slightly different kind of opinions about that. If we look at the Division 2, Lara United, Bell Park, Surfside Waves, and then we've got FC Leopold finished in the top 4. We had Golden Plains, Barwon Heads, Corio Bay, and then we had a really big gap, Armstrong United, Ballerine Sharks and Deakin Ducks. I know, speaking to people at Lara United and Bell Park, both of those clubs have expressed, or people from those clubs have expressed a desire, if not next year, certainly the year after, to get back into Division 1. But with those 2 teams finishing on top, Lara United and Bell Park, and Surfside doing very well, it would be great to see an expanded Division 1 competition next year. In the meantime, this Saturday at Myers Reserve, 2:30 p.m. is the kickoff time. Surf Coast taking on Deakin Ducks. Ladies, thank you so much for being a part of tonight's show. We wish you all the very best, and hopefully the weather's kind to you, and there's a bumper crowd out there at Myers Reserve on Saturday to see the very best of local women's football. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. All the best.
See
ya. Steve, they were the 2 ladies from the Surf Coast and Deakin Ducks, Annie Vanderwood and Andy Thornton, respectively. Great to have the ladies on. What's your let's go for a bit of a prognosis, prediction. What do you think? Who do you think will prevail on Saturday in the Women's Division 1 Grand Final?
Oh, it's going to be a tight one. It's going to be very close. Could go. I can see this one going to extra time, actually, Tonchi. Maybe, all the way to penalties even. But I think over the balance of the season that Surf Coast has got the upper hand and the confidence in this one. And they may also be a former club of mine, I suppose. So I need to tip them for the win. So I think that Deakin will put in a stellar performance, but Surf Coast to get it over the line for me. What about yourself?
Oh, it's going to be a tough one. I agree with you. I think it will go into extra time. I'm tipping it's going to be 1-1 at the end of regular time. I don't think it'll get to penalties. I think it will be 2-1. And the only reason I'm going to tip this side is because Mark Wyeth is doing the C Licence coach course with me. And he's a brilliant coach. And I think he may be the edge. And Surf Coast
he may be
will
watching
prevail
as well. Yes,
he may be watching, but well, what do you think, folks? Oh, we want to hear what you think. Come on, all you Ducks supporters. Come on, all you Coaster supporters, and even the neutrals would love to hear what you're thinking. Who will win in the Women's Division 1 Grand Final on the weekend, or even the Women's Division 2 Grand Final on the weekend? We're going to take a short break. When we return, it's time to look at the Men's Division 1 competition as well with our guests for tonight, Gavan Walker, the coach of the Armstrong United, and I've got a very, very special soft spot for Armstrong United, and the regular viewers of this show will know why. And also Ian Nichols from Barwon Soccer Club, and I've got a very, very special connection with Barwon Soccer Club as well. And some long-term viewers would know why. So I'm going to sit on the fence with this next one.
It's all cryptic. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a tip out of you at the end of this next interview.
All right.
It's
okay.
happening.
But in the meantime, Gavan and Ian will be joining us on the other side of the break. Don't go away, folks. It's episode 98 of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. At Barry Plant Geelong, excellence is our starting point. The award-winning real estate agents and property managers at Barry Plant Geelong's vision is simply to be the most recommended brand in real estate and are dedicated to providing the best real estate experience to every client every time. We have the skills and commitment to making selling and renting out your home a rewarding experience. By implementing well-targeted marketing strategies and tapping into the vast Barry Plant network, we'll cast a wide net to find the right buyer for your property. Or, if you are looking to purchase, we'll work just as hard to help you find the right property to suit your needs. Our sales office is located at 59 Jeringhap Street, right in the heart of Geelong, while our property management office is just around the corner at 116 Ryrie Street. Whatever your requirement, please call us now on 5221 4011 to experience the difference, or visit our website at www.barryplant.com.au/Geelong. Barry Plant Geelong sponsors both the Geelong Soccer Club and the Corio Soccer Club, and is also proud to be the major sponsor of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. As the first solar tube skylight installer in Victoria, Scotsco Skylighting has nearly 30 years of experience and offers a variety of services including custom-made skylights, high-quality Velux skylights, and a variety of solar tube daylighting systems. The benefits of having the skylight in your home are many. They let natural light into your space, and with that light comes solar heat, improving your mood and even helping with performance in workplaces. Plus, heating your home with sunlight can save on heating costs during the chilly seasons. Cosmetic changes like skylights can add equity into your home, and, similar to adding mirrors on the walls, skylights can make a room feel bigger and more spacious. It's about time you enjoyed all these benefits plus more. So what are you waiting for? To get a free daylight assessment and installation quote, call our founder and owner Adrian Begg on 0409 823 177 or visit our website at www.scotscoskylights.com.au. Scotsco Skylighting is proudly Geelong owned and operated. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It's episode 98. In a fortnight's time, we will have our 100th episode, a very, very special episode. The full details will be on next week, we hope. But we can announce, Steve, that it will be a live show in front of, hopefully, we'll have a studio audience. It will be on a Monday night, and it will be at the magnificent Corio Soccer Club. The new venue there, the newly constructed club rooms there. We will be on a Monday night. So Santino Mamone, one of our biggest fans, we'll have to get him on the show, I think. Steve, what do you reckon?
I think he'll be there. Judging
by
the last time we did a live show back in 2019, Santino was front and center, and I wouldn't expect anything different this time around as well, particularly with it being at his home club there at Hume Reserve in those new club room facilities that are very, very nice indeed.
Corio Soccer Club have been a magnificent supporter of this show over the last few years. In particular, the president Mario Gregorio. Mario, if you're tuning in, cheerio. Hope everything is going well with regards to the semi-finals and next week's finals series. But let's talk men's Division 3, Steve. Before we get our guests on the show, let's go through those results.
Yeah, so after extra time in the first semi-final, it was Corio 4-2 winners against the Ballerine Sharks in the Division 3. And Ivan Biscan with a double, Aaron also scoring, and an own goal to get Corio over the line. Don't have the scorers for the Sharks, unfortunately, but what an entertaining 120 minutes that would have been. But if that wasn't enough, the other semi-final, 2-2 after extra time. Mika Pocklington got himself on the score sheet. Well done, Mika. Oya Salugi also scoring. Don't have the scorers for Geelong, but the good news for Geelong is that they got over the line 4-3 on penalty kicks. They go through to the grand final. It is this Sunday at Hume Reserve on pitch number 2 at 3 o'clock. That match is Corio versus Geelong for the Div 3 title.
Yeah, they're moving along to Division 2, the men's Division 2 competition. We had a 0-0 draw between Barwon and Drysdale. And then it went down to, that was the final score after extra time. And then went to penalties. And Drysdale prevailed by defeating Barwon 4-3. Now, Barwon have got an amazing depth in the local competition. Obviously, their senior team has got through to the men's Division 1 grand final. They've got a team in Division 2, and they've done very, very well. But it was Drysdale, I think, playing in their first final series in quite a few years' time, quite a long time, actually. So Drysdale through to the grand final of the men's Division 2 competition. And this was played last night at the same time as the Barwon versus FC Leopold semi-final. Under lights at Hume Reserve. I popped out there for 20 minutes or so in between appointments that I had, but just like I said, just enough time to take in a little bit of both games, and it was a very, very fiercely fought contest between Barwon and Drysdale, but Drysdale prevailed after penalties. Now, in the earlier game, Geelong Rangers defeated Elko Park Cardinals 3-0. Geelong Rangers were once upon a time a real powerhouse of the local competition, and look, it's great to see them back on the back in winning ways. And look, they're in the grand final decider for men's Division 2 next week, and that's going to be at Hume Reserve on pitch 2 at 12:30 p.m. So that should be an absolute corker of a game. And then men's Division 1, we'll go through the men's Division 1 results, Steve, and then we'll bring our two guests on who are eagerly waiting to jump on. They are in the green room at the moment. So, folks, only a few seconds, and we're going to have Ian Nichols from Barwon and Gavan Walker from Armstrong United on. But in the meantime, the results from the men's Division 1.
Yes, well, this was the upset, first versus fourth, as they finished on the table in the first semi-final. Bell Park 2, Armstrong United 2. After extra time, the goals are Dev Neer and Sahin Gorgu. Also for the Pelicans, Callan Gerritsen and Stephen Puka found the back of the net. It went to penalties, and who got through. Yes, that's right. The team that finished in 4th place, the Pelicans.
Wow.
Armstrong Creek, the Armstrong United FC side, they march on to their first ever grand final in the men's Division 1. And
how good is that?
What a story that is. And they'll be playing against Barwon, who were 4-2 winners after 90 minutes against FC Leopold. Michael Doolan, Brandon Duthie, David Favetta, and Jack Wilson all scoring the goals that got Barwon through to the final. So that final, 3 o'clock Sunday, Hume Reserve, Pitch 1, Armstrong United versus Barwon, and a great performance by Barwon and Armstrong United on the weekend too. Looking forward to seeing how those two teams go when they go head-to-head this Sunday afternoon, Tonchi. But it's time to have a look at a bit of footage that you captured from the week.
So this is a little bit of footage from the FC Leopold and the Barwon game. Now, if you have a look, there's some very, very familiar faces in the FC Leopold lineup. Former North Geelong Warriors captain Michael Anderson, his brother Nicholas Anderson as well, who scored both of Leopold's goals. Michael Boyer, another former State League first teamer with North Geelong Warriors. So it was quite a star-studded lineup, but Barwon, look, have fielded a very experienced side as well, and they did exceptionally well. So it was a tremendous performance. Unfortunately, the little bit of footage that I got, I didn't manage to get any goals. But it was, as you can see, look, a fiercely contested game, and great conditions. It was cold. It was very, very cold last night, but absolutely fantastic conditions. The clubhouse was pumping, and we've just got word from Mario Gregorio, who's sent us a little bit of a message there, and we'll pop that on the thing. To maximise crowds, we are proposing to Football Victoria to change the games to the following times for boys and men's finals at Hume Reserve this Sunday. Pitch numbers for under-18s, Division 2 and Division 3 to be confirmed. But Rangers for versus Barn under-18s at 12:30. We'll take that off so we can read that. 12:30, Rangers versus Drysdale, Div 2. The 3 p.m, Corai versus Geelong. Div 3, 3 p.m, Armstrong Creek versus Barn. And then the Div 1, on the pitch 1, they're proposing to have the game at 5:30 p.m. So, look, stay tuned. We'll find out more information as the week progresses. That's what Mario Gregorio, or should I say Corai Soccer Club, has proposed. We'll see if that's the case that happens during the week, Steve. But let's introduce our guests for tonight, Steve.
Yeah, right. Let's get them on the screen now. So we have joining us. Who should we get on first? Should we get Ian or Gavan to come and join us first?
Oh, let's get Gavan from Armstrong United.
All right. Here's the coach of Armstrong United, Gavan Walker. Good evening, and well, you must still be on a high from yesterday, I'd imagine. How are you feeling?
Evening, gents. Pretty much. Still a bit buzzing from the weekend's game. It was a bit of a scrappy contest part way through. Bell Park are a really strong side. We knew that coming into the game, but the never say attitude of the little Pelicans continued to grow. We pulled a couple of goals back, but the song has not been sung that vigorously for a long time.
Possibly ever, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we had a couple of good wins this season, but that one topped it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Now in the blue corner, making his way to the ring, Ian Nichols, the one of the senior team captains from senior players at Barwon Soccer Club. Ian has been there at many previous grand final deciders as well, so he knows what it's like to be at the big dance. But Ian, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Must be a thrill to be in the grand final again this year. We talked about the depth, extraordinary depth that Barwon has. Obviously fielding State League 4, State League 5 sides next year, State League 4. But wonderful performance by the Div 2 boys as well in the
definitely. Gavan just mentioned how they got to sing the song. We actually didn't go and sing the song after our game. We went over to the other game, which was playing at the same time, and watched the Div 2s fight it out, but unfortunately didn't get through with a win. So, and the Div 3 boys, they just missed out on goal difference, getting through into the finals as well. So, pretty proud of the club, just even the girls as well, and the juniors coming through. How good a side we've got, and obviously the state boys getting through for the the win to make himself into state 4.
So, Ian, as you mentioned there, it's definitely a case for playing all of the semi-finals at one location, being able to jump across and watch your other side going about it straight away.
It was good atmosphere, and I think we congratulated the Armstrong Creek boys after they came off as well. Like it's good to go and watch the game. We all play football, we all love it. To be surrounded by it, it was a really good atmosphere. So hats off to obviously everyone surrounded, and of course Karaya for setting up as well.
Yeah. Now, Gavan, it's the first time that Armstrong United are in the final of the men's Division 1 competition. The region's youngest club. It's only been around for about 5 or 6 years. And it must be an incredible feeling to be a part of this historic achievement. What does this mean for the club? I mean, like as we said, it's the youngest club in the region, and it's part of one of the biggest growth areas in the region. But this must have really given the club an almighty boost.
Yeah, I think we've been around for 5 years in total. So if you take out the 2 years for the pandemic, this is our first 3 seasons. This is our first full season in Div 1. So to get to the grand finals, a great achievement. And one of the things I took away from the weekend was when I was running onto the pitch, I turn around and there's 5 or 6 of the junior boys who they bring their parents down. They want to watch the team. They want to watch the way we play. A couple of the guys and a couple of the women coach the juniors as well. So it's a real community club feel, and to have those amount of supporters that come down just to watch us when typically they're first time parents to football. They don't really know. They're used to AFL, so to have their kids running on the pitch to celebrate with the boys was a great feeling, and just kind of shows the community spirit of the club.
Definitely. And one for you, Ian, as well. 4-2 winners against FC Leopold. Plenty of goals scored. Everything went to plan there, I take it?
Oh, I wouldn't say it went to plan. We were 1-0 down early on in the game, and they came out hard, and we knew that we could hopefully run over the top of them. We tended to do that during the season, and it was good. We did. We ended up being 4-1 up, and then penalty near the end sort of gave it to them as well. So, yeah, we were pretty happy with it. A blinder of a goal from David, like that was a belter of a goal. So it was some good celebrations there as well.
Oh, if anyone's got that footage, send that in to us. We'll give that an airing as soon as we can. But Gavan, one for you as well. Did you see yourself maybe making it to the grand final at some point during the year, or has it just come as a real bolt from the blue?
When I took the job at the start of the year, I already knew we had a really good young squad. Like I'd played with them for the last couple of years. A fair few guys had moved through from Div 3 all the way through to Div 1. So there was a heap of talent there. It was just kind of making sure they were directed towards it. I think even ourselves halfway through the season when we sat bottom of the table and a few people writing us off, we pretty much used that as a bit of fuel to ourselves to say, look, we need to step up now. Like we're a better squad than what the table showed. So essentially that's what kind of drove us forward from there. But I knew they had it in them, whether it was this year or next year. Just so happens that we managed to scrape through for this one.
Yeah, Ian, your coach, Bill Wilson, he's had a few health issues during the year. So big shout out to Bill. I had a great chat with him today, he said he had a lot of support from a lot of the senior players like yourself. And some of the other guys at Barwon who stepped in and helped out with the coaching and leading the team throughout the year. Did that sort of help you strengthen that team spirit, or was that sort of something that you really missed, Bill, from time to time throughout the year?
Yeah, Bill went down a little bit near the early part of the season, and I then stepped away from playing and coached. We had Shannon, who's definitely stepped up as well and assisted, and then Jack as well. So we had a few injuries, so we couldn't fill them because we were coaching, and we personally, and chatting with a few of the senior boys, we didn't feel that a player coach would have worked. It's hard to be on the pitch and trying to coach. Yeah. I've done it a couple of times, but it's so we stepped away from that, and the juniors had to fill the roles that we brought up. So we didn't really bring the twos through. We brought some other juniors in that hadn't really had the ability to, and they grew immensely so as characters. But you definitely miss your coach on the sidelines, and it's been great to have him back.
Fantastic. Well, he'll be at the helm on Sunday, will he?
Definitely.
Fantastic news. Great stuff. Big cheer out to Bill from everyone here at the show. Steve.
Gav, Callan Gerritsen, 11 goals from 10 matches in the league, plus he got another one on the weekend to make it 12, and top scorer now for the season in the division. How important is he this weekend to try and bang one in to get you guys in a good position?
Yeah, look, Cal's deadly when he's fully on his game, but I think he will be the first to say that he's ably supported in and around him. A lot of guys making the opportunities for him, and again, I'm pretty certain the boys would be remiss of me if I didn't mention our keeper Dev, who had an absolute blinder at the weekend and managed to save not 3 but 4 penalty saves because he had to have 1 retaken as well. So. You can score them down one end, but if your keeper's letting them in the other end, it's no help.
That's true. Good point.
That must be a record amount of penalty saves in a Geelong Region final. It would have to be. I can see why there's so many comments about your keeper in the comment section tonight. They're flying in. Tonchi.
Yeah, you lost me.
We just had a little bit of a problem. Yeah, we had a little bit of a problem there. I think we've got him back. Nico, you back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now we can hear you. Yep. Awesome. Yep. That's fantastic. All right. First of all, Nico, over to you. Now we had an opportunity to ask this question of the ladies beforehand, who are in a similar boat. It's a 6-team Division 1 competition. Started off as a 7-team competition, then Elko Park Cardinals first team folded, and it only became a 6-team Division 1 competition. For the elite competition, the elite men's division in the local league, we've got 6 teams in Division 1, 6 teams in Division 2, but then, what was it, 13, 14, 15, 23 teams in Division 3?
Yep.
What are your thoughts on the competition structure in the local league, the men's division?
Like I said, I went back and did a bit of coaching, so I was then playing in Div 2 and Div 3. There's teams and there's teams in Div 3 that definitely shouldn't be in Div 3. Yeah. So from an outside, quite easily grade them, put it in place, and then stop people nominating. You have to pick Div 2. You go straight down to Div 3. And if you win Div 3, you go straight to Div 2. And then so you mentioned Elko Park folding. You shouldn't be able to fold your higher side. You should have to fold your divs. Then what's happened is Elko Park's now dropped their Div 1 players into Div 2, and they've started to do actually in Div 2. So if you really wanted to start again, do your 3 and 2, and Div 1 personally, I don't think there should be interchange. Like, we play football and football rules, and that'll probably change it.
That's a good point
as well. I've got pretty strong views on it. So it seems like the clubs control it more than the league. If I'm honest, I'm sorry if that's offended anyone. It's my thoughts.
Yeah. Gavan, did you have thoughts on the interchange versus substitutions in the Div 1?
Coming from the UK, you're not really kind of used to kind of roll-off subs. As I got older, I actually found it more helpful for me when my knee was giving out. So that's helpful to keep a few of the old boys playing around. We just play with the rules that we get given. Ultimately, FE will end up making a decision on that, and we'll play to the rules that they give us. It's helped us. It's helped us keep the squad. I think we've rotated 21 players through the squad, and it allows them to get the game time, and it keeps the legs going. So I don't have a problem with it, but at the same time, if it was straight substitutions, we work with what we got.
And also, Gavan, just on the format as well, we mentioned to Nico the small number of teams in the league. Fortunately, you're able to watch each other play on the weekend, being at the same venue. But I doubt you needed to do much scouting because you would have seen a lot of each other already this season. What are your thoughts on number of teams in the league and possible improvements to the format of the competition?
Yeah, look, expansion would be fantastic, providing it stays competitive. I think we've been in the fortunate position of beating most teams other than Leopold this season, but also losing to pretty much every team as well. So I think there's a good quality and good strength there. But like Nico said, like there's a couple of teams in Div 2 that probably should be playing with us, and a couple of teams in Div 3 that need to go up as well. But yeah, it certainly becomes you get to know each other quite well. I think we played Leopold 3 times in 7 days, and then there was an opportunity. Thanks, Barwon knocked them out, but we could have played them 5 times in essentially 21 days, which would have been interesting to say the least.
Sounds like the best of 25 game series, yeah. It's like the Ashes or something like that. I don't know. It's pretty weird, yeah. But I mean, look, all jokes aside, when you do think about it, Nico, get back to you. I understand, and some people call it the Sunday League. Some people still call it WVC or the GRFA League or whatever. It's actually a league that doesn't have a name. And this is one of the things that irked me back in the days when I used to work at Football Victoria. It was like, the league doesn't even have an identity, one. But number two, it seemed to be a case of year by year, teams looking at what their own self-interest, so not even the interests of their own club, but their interests of their own team is, and they would dictate whether they'd be playing. Now, I'm sort of a little bit of a veteran, and, we tried to get up Masters League happening that lasted a few years, but I understand there are a lot of Masters that play in the Division 3, and I get that, and they don't want to play with the younger players. And that makes a lot of sense. But then having 15 teams, 13 teams in Division 3, it's so lopsided that, you know what, have 10 teams in your first division and then work after that. Do you agree with that? I mean, it's almost a bit farcical, isn't it?
Like it's about that you can keep your squad running over and everything in that scenario with the interchange. I guess the bit that I teams where they've actually used as a tactic, you start to go on top of them, then they'll just bring on 4 players just to stop the play. Purely as a tactic to try and stop the play. So that's probably my biggest burden with the interchange. But yeah, in our Sunday side ones, which are Masters, and I think there's 5 there. I think there's only 1 in which is a Masters qualified. So we sort of spread them out in that sense. Your answer is correct. Start with Div 1, start with 10, then go 8, and then maybe 6. Div 3 will be able to play against each other and have a bit more fun as some of the results you see through and you just go back. You can't have that.
Apologies, we seem to have a bit of technical issues there with and Ian. The noise seems to be cutting out, but we'll try and soldier it on. We tried to rectify it in the prior to the show. Gavan, your thoughts? You're relatively new to the leagues, but at the same time, you've worked your way up from Division 3 as a club and did the right thing, got into Division 1. You've still got another team in Division 3, I think it is, like a seconds team or a reserves team. So you've done the right thing in that regard. What's your kind of view on the integrity of the competition?
Again, mirror the kind of comments that Nico's already kind of said. I think we need to start with Div 1. We need to make sure that that's a good representation of the talent and the quality that's in and around the region that's not playing in the state leagues. And then you kind of build backwards from there. I think a lot of clubs, as you said, have kind of pulled out or made a decision, rightly or wrongly, to kind of do what's in their best interest as opposed to kind of keep that level of integrity there. So, but again, it's for bigger people than us to probably solve, Tunchy, but you can keep asking the question until we get a result, sir.
That's it. They keep banging our heads against the brick wall.
We'll go in a different direction, if you will, Gavan. Armstrong United making the grand final for the first time. Junior players coming along to watch the senior players. That's one of the greatest things you can have, I think, in a local club environment. Bringing their parents along, as you said, some of them first-time football people. Are we really seeing a meteoric rise for the club over the next few years, do you think?
I'd like to think so. I think my partner plays, both my kids play. I think there's a lot of that, across the club. So I think it's going to continue to grow. I think the one thing that we need to kind of work with is the local council really on the kind of the ground, particularly the state of the pitch from this season, just to kind of make sure we've got a proper playing surface for those juniors as well, and to make sure they've got the room and the space. So I think that's one thing that we need to kind of work with as a club. But as a club, it's a fantastic hopefully breeding ground for future generations. And I think we hope next year that we'll be running some under-14s girls and under-14s boys as well for the first time. So what we want to do is obviously use that as a platform and hopefully use a bit of the medium level success we've had this year to kind of promote that and make sure that we get more people coming to the club next season.
Fantastic. Yep. Gents, thank you so much for joining us. Firstly, last question though to both of you. First of all, to you, Nico. What are you expecting from Sunday's game?
Can you hear me? The audio is fine.
Yep.
A little bit, still cutting out a bit, but we'll soldier on.
Yeah, push on.
We've played probably each other 3 times in the last 6 weeks. It'll be a hard-fought game either way. It'll be they're a young side. We're relatively young, so I don't think it'll stop. So it'll be a challenge. It'll be fast.
Well, it'll be a spectacle, I'm tipping. Gavan, what about yourself? What are you expecting from Sunday's season decider?
Much of the same. I think it's a local derby, realistically, for us. I think we've played each other 3 times. They've been great games every single time. They've been well hard fought, well played games, played in the right spirit. It doesn't matter which division you play Barwon in, they're always a tough team to play against. So, looking forward to it.
On that note, gents, at the moment, it's 3 p.m. on Sunday at Hume Reserve, the big showdown, the Men's Division 1 Grand Final between Armstrong United and Barwon. But watch this space, according to Karai President Mario Gregorio, that may change. And would you like to be playing a night decider at 5:30 p.m. on a Sunday night, or would you prefer 3 p.m.? Nico?
Probably a night one.
So, what was that?
Straight into it. The boys are talking about going for beers straight after the game. So maybe the night one will be good.
Maybe a night one. There you go, maybe a night one. What about yourself, Gavan?
I think we're the same. We're going for beer straight afterwards. So, 5:30 might suit us all better.
On that note, gents, all the very, very best for Saturday night. Wishing you all the best. Actually, I wouldn't mind 5:30 p.m. because I'm up in Melbourne at some of the junior finals until about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So 5:30 p.m. would work better. Good luck either way, guys. Hopefully it is an absolute spectacle on Sunday, and I'm sure it will be there at Hume Reserve.
Thanks all.
All the best, guys.
Apologies for a little bit of the technical issues there we had with Ian Nichols, but nonetheless, an awesome show tonight with some fantastic guests. And, geez, they had some really interesting things to say, both the ladies and both the gents. So thank you to all of those who were tonight. Mara's saying 5:30. Relight game worked well. Twilight game, huh? He's spelling there. Twilight game worked well. I agree.
It's been auto-corrected. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Steve, mate, we're going to have a great week leading up to the final. And
that's right. Who's going to win the men's Division 1, though, Tronty? That's the question.
You go first.
Look, I don't want to disappoint any of the Pelicans who are in the comments because there's a lot of audience members in it. I think I'm going to say Barwon, courtesy of maybe Adam Leather, to get the winner.
I agree with you, actually. I think it is going to be a Barwon win. I think they're too experienced. They've been a part of too many grand finals in the past. And, I might get crucified by the founding president, Michael Parker of Armstrong United, who is tuning in. I do have a very, very soft spot for the Armstrong United Pelicans. I was there in the very, very first meeting of the initiative to form the club. So I kind of feel it's like my little baby in a strange sort of a way. But on this occasion, I think
maybe you need to tip the Pelicans to delight the audience. Apart from Dale.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Pelicans 2-0. There we go. So someone's going to win it on the end. Folks, have a great week. Make sure to get out and watch some local football on show next week, either up at Myers Reserve or at Hume Reserve. Support the local games, support the local clubs, support the local community scene. And after this weekend, we're going to have a very, very long pre-season before next season kicks off. and it will be an absolute awesome 2023. But until then, we've still got the grand final to come this weekend. So on that note, thank you for joining us. And once again, before we do go, please vote for Bobby Hayes, communitylegends.com.au/vote. We had a lot of viewers tuning in tonight. We had a lot of first-time viewers tuning in tonight as well. And thank you very much to everyone that did tune in tonight. But jump on that website and vote for Bobby Hayes. Good night, folks, and thank you sincerely for being a part of our very special grand final preview show. Good night.
Good night.